Leonard Joseph Macham was born in Fulham in 1911. Starting work in an accountant's office at £1 a week, he eventually founded the Cope Allman Group in the 50s, involved in everything from lipstick containers to bicycles. He set up Max Factor in the UK in 1936 and did the same for Charlie Revson's Revlon in 1949, by which time he was earning £18,000 a year. He moved to Jersey in 1959 and bought the Water's Edge Hotel, and in 1966, when he saw it advertised in Country Life, the tiny island of Brechou off the southwest corner of Sark, thereby entering local folklore as the man who owned his own Channel Island. Len Macham positively encouraged the publicity and speculation which surrounded his latest acquisition. No, he wasn't trying to escape Jersey income tax. Yes, he was going to live permanently in Brechou. No, he wasn't going to build a casino.
Have they put any restrictions on your purchase of the island, such as commercialisation, for example?
No, but I've voluntarily told them that I don't intend to develop it. I've heard rumours that there's going to be a Hilton Hotel there, but in point of fact, I'm not so fond of Hilton Hotels anyway, so I can assure you.
You prefer the Macham hotels?
But naturally, one must.
To commute between Brechou, his businesses in London and Jersey, and his luxury yacht in the south of France, Len Macham bought a helicopter and got permission from the formidable Dame of Sark to use it. With Brechou came an automatic seat as one of the 40 tenors in Sark's Parliament, the Chief Pleas.
This is going to satisfy an unrequited ambition. I stood for Parliament in England and lost. Now I get a seat in the Parliament over there by being a tenant of Sark, and I believe that everyone who lives in the community should take part in their affairs, so I shall definitely be there.
Not everyone in Chief Pleas was amused at the photographers who descended on Sark to see Mr. Macham take his seat, but the man himself was in high spirits. If some Sarkis thought Mr. Macham was taking them for a ride, at least he had La Dame on his side. Len Macham settled into Brechou with his longtime companion Sue Groves and was hardly ever out of the news. He offered himself as the most outspoken millionaire in the islands. In 1972, he reminisced about the day he bought the island.
I said, well, look, if you were acting for me, how much would you suggest I bid for it? He said, well, I'm not acting for you. I said, I know that, but there's no one here but us and 3 million bloody rabbits. So imagine you are. And he said, well, I'd offer him 40. So I said, well, what are you waiting here for? Get in your boat and go back. The fellow was in Zurich at the time. So he rang me in Jersey that night, and he said he won't take 40. So I said, well, what will he take? He said, 45. I said, you got a deal. That's how I bought it. That included 2 clapped-out boats and all the farm machinery.
I came for one simple reason, that I'd often expressed this publicly, that I didn't mind paying taxes, even 19.6 in the pound. But if I managed to save a lot of sixpences, I felt I should be able to do with that odd sixpence in the pound as I wished. In other words, I've always, since the age of 17 when I began to study, thought that estate duty was a pernicious tax. And it's been proved because they no longer have it. I came here to avoid estate duty. And I am a very big taxpayer in England, even today, because the bulk of my income comes from my shareholding in my international company, and I get it by way of dividends, and they clip it off me before I get it.
In 1970, his financial brain saved Jersey from a serious banking scandal. When the Guaranteed Trust went bust, its capital lost, and with it the money of local investors, Len Macham offered to step in. He did it, he said later, for the hell of it, which certainly amused the 2 American bankers he brought in to help. Macham offered to turn the bank round in 10 years.
Are you thinking, for instance, of launching a new company, say Guaranteed Trust of Jersey 1970 Limited, and transferring the capital from the old company to enable you to trade again?
You know, have you been having a sauna bath with me? That has gone through our mind, and we do most of our thinking in the sauna bath. I get these boys down with me with the whip and heat them up so that they come out with some ideas. We've examined probably 25 different ideas. We'd have an idea one night and it'd be marvellous. The following morning, George Newell would walk in and say, have you seen this? Bang goes one idea out of the window.
Macham formed the new Guaranteed Trust of Jersey with himself as chairman, and in just 2 years he was reporting financial security for investors and a £500,000 profit, and not to mention kissing the girls in reception, a true Macham trademark. Always eager to remind people about Brechou, he had a coat of arms designed and even minted his own money, though it wasn't legal tender. Len Macham restored the new Guaranteed Trust in 7 years instead of 10. The island and its fledgling finance industry owed him a debt. He was the greatest exponent of deals by telephone and had the highest telephone bills on the Guernsey Exchange. He built a loyal staff who called him the boss, but he was not immune to personal tragedy. His pilot, Ken Desmond, was killed in a plane crash near Jersey Airport in 1970, and another pilot died in a car accident in Jersey this year. It didn't put him off flying, but then he'd logged 2 million miles over 60 countries in a very full life. In 1983, he put Brechou on the market. Not a freehold sale, that would have been too painful. A 125-year lease reckoned to be on offer for £3 million. There were no takers. In his last television interview 5 years ago, the telephones were still ringing constantly. Len Macham was still being bullish, recognising that he had to move back to Jersey because of ill health, but determined to strike the right deal for his island home. Some assumed he was ruthless. They were wrong. As he himself said, "I'm just a big softy."
No, doesn't appeal to me. No, I'm sorry, old boy. No, thanks for the opportunity. Goodbye.